Hello, this is Ken here for Big Picture English. Today we're going to take a look at the conditional system. I'm sure you're wondering what kind of system there is to the conditionals in English grammar. Oh, sorry, we need to interrupt this talk for a question from the cat. Okay, what are you wondering? Actually, that's a good question to help you begin to understand something very important about English grammar, something which you need to understand, the conditionals. But I'm going to ask you to figure it out. Let's watch someone using I was wondering, and then someone else in the same situation not using it, and see if you can guess why people say I was wondering. Yes, that's true, but it doesn't explain everything. If someone is wondering now, why do they say I was wondering? Why don't they say I am wondering? And I see you are wondering that right now. Well, the answer is going to tell you one of the most important things about English grammar. In English grammar, we use past tenses to show distance, things that are far away. For example, we use past tense to show distance in time. When I say I was a cute baby, was, the past of be, tells you that this is distant in time. In my case, very far away. But we also use the past to show distance in reality, things that are far away from what is real. For example, when I say, I wish I was rich, was, the past of be, tells you that me being rich is distant in reality. It's far away from the truth. And finally, here it is. We also use the past to show distance in social relationships, to show someone that we are not close to them. So when you are talking to someone you don't know, you can say, I was wondering. And was shows that you and that person are not in a close relationship, like with a policeman. And it is formal. Okay, now we are ready to look at the conditional system. The conditional system. Okay, we have 5 conditionals and they have names. Not very good names, but they have names. We have what we call the zero conditional, the first conditional, the second, the third, and what we call the mixed conditional. The conditional system, like all systems, is made up of things that are the same but different. So first let's look at how these conditionals are all the same. Every conditional has a condition. A condition is something that needs to happen first before something else can happen. And the other part of a conditional is the result, the thing that happens next if the conditional happens. Let's look at how this works. The condition is if I am hungry. If that happens, the result is that I eat. For the first conditional, the condition is if I have enough money. So if I have enough money, the result is I will buy a house. For the second, the condition is if I was rich. And if that happens, the result is I would travel everywhere. For the third, the condition is if I had studied. And the result of that condition happening is that I would have passed the test. For the mixed, the condition is if I had slept last night. And the result is I would be happy now. Now I'm going to give you the grammar you need to know to understand all the conditionals. First, The present simple is used for things that are always or usually true, or when we don't want to say a specific time. For example, when I say, I drink coffee, this is usually true, and I'm not saying any specific time for this action. And as we said before, we can use the past simple to show distance in time or in reality. So when I say, I wish I was rich, the was tells you that this is imaginary. It's distant from reality. And will is used for predictions. Would is the past of will. Would have is the past of would. When I say it will rain tomorrow, that's a prediction, a guess about the future. And the past perfect is for time before the past simple. When I say, last night I watched a film I had seen before, watched is the past simple for a time in the past, last night. And had seen is the past perfect to talk about a time before I watched the film, when I saw it for the first time. Okay, now it's your turn. You will try to figure out why these verbs are used in each conditional. Think about what the conditional means, and you will find the reasons for why the verbs are used in the grammar explanations on the right side here. Okay, take 1 minute to try to figure it out. Now you will see the answers, so check to see how many you got correct. In the condition of the zero conditional, the present simple is used because there is no specific time. Anytime I am hungry, I eat. We use eat in the present simple in the result because it's always or usually true. I'm sure you are the same. Anytime you feel hungry, you eat. For the first conditional, we use have in the present simple because we don't want to say a specific time. I don't want to say when I will have enough money. I probably don't know when that will happen, so I use the present simple to show that there is no specific time. And in the result, I use will to make a prediction about the future. So we use the first conditional to make predictions about the future. Okay, you should know why we use was in the condition of the second conditional. It's because it's distant in reality. And we use would in the result because it's the past of will. The past of will shows that it is a prediction, but it is distant in reality. So we use the second conditional to imagine things that could be different now and an imaginary prediction from that. Okay, now for the third. I didn't study and I didn't pass the test. This is something that happened in the past. Maybe I wrote the test last week. So it is distant in time because it's last week. And it's also distant in reality because I'm imagining that I studied, when in reality, I didn't study. So the past perfect is used because it's time before the past simple. So two pasts. One past is for distance in time, and the other past is for distance in reality. And would is the past of will, and one more past is would have. So two pasts here also, one for reality and the other for time. The third conditional is for imagining how the past could have been different. Now the mixed is easy. The first part is from the third conditional, so last night is distant in time, and it's also distant in reality because I'm imagining that I slept, but I actually didn't. And the result is now, so there is no distance in time, only distance in reality, because I'm not happy now, but I would be if I had slept last night. Do you have a problem? Oh, good point. Yes, you've used the first conditional, but the condition has a specific time. You see, the conditional system was developed hundreds of years ago, and at that time, the present simple was used because there was no specific time. But as we all know, languages change over time. So sometime in the past, people sometimes said a specific time in the condition of the first conditional. It's all perfectly correct. Okay, that's the whole system. Now let's have a little test. It's joke time. Okay, I'm going to tell a joke, and when I say if, you try to finish the rest of the conditional. In the morning, the police came to a house because a woman had shot her husband with a bow and arrow in the middle of the night. The policeman said, "Why did you shoot your husband with a bow and arrow?" And the woman answered, "If..." She said, "If I had shot him with a gun, I would have woken up the children." That's the third conditional for imagining how the past, last night, could have been different. When I say if, you try to continue the rest of the conditional. A boy was alone in his family's apartment when he saw smoke coming from the apartment below them. He called the fire department to tell them about the smoke. The person at the fire department asked, "How do we get to your building?" The boy answered, "If..." The boy said, "If I were you, I would take one of those red trucks you have." This is one of the most common uses of the second conditional. It's used to imagine you are another person and make predictions about what they would or should do. It's used for giving advice. When I say if, you continue the rest of the conditional. A teacher said to her young students, "A spaceship went into space and it is exploring space now." A boy asked, "Will the spaceship go to the sun?" The teacher answered, "If..." The teacher said, "If the spaceship goes too close to the sun, it will burn up." The first conditional is used to make a prediction about what might happen in the future if a condition happens. Then the boy asked, "Why will it burn up?" The teacher answered, "If..." The teacher said, if anything goes too close to the sun, it burns up. That's the zero conditional to talk about things that usually or always happen if a condition happens. But then the boy asked, why doesn't the spaceship go there at night? And that's it. Make sure you check out more of our videos for improving your English by looking at the big picture at Big Picture English, our YouTube channel. Subscribe today.